I
That's
posted a bonus video this week.
bonus vid.
We did a Giants vid, me and Mike Spillane. So
It was just an hour of crying into Kleenex.
pretty much.
And then they
Welcome
use
back to
that
another
Kleenex
episode.
later. What?
To masturbate. What? Welcome back to another episode of Going For It. We are back here with the Brain Trust, the Clarity Creative crew, talking Thursday Night Football, Denver versus KC. We talked about this in our pick 'em a little bit, possible trap game for the Chiefs, but also probably not a trap game because they're the fucking Chiefs. Just wanted to throw this out there. Has the resurgence, and I'll use resurgence in quotations and lightly, has the resurgence of Russell Wilson surprised either one of you to this point this season? He's taking care of the ball for the most part. He's decent yardage. He has some pieces around him, but like he's actually doing well. It's just the team does not seem to be at a level, especially defensively, where they're going to be able to succeed. But has this version of Russ surprised you so far this season? I'm going to start with you, Craig.
No surprise at all for me personally. I even went after him on purpose in fantasy leagues, initially as a backup, I will say, but I went after him because I thought we were going to see the best of him in the last couple of years. I think he had a lot to prove personally, and he comes across as a guy that cares about whatever legacy he leaves. Well, he won the Super Bowl, lost a second one on what is a very bad decision from Pete Carroll and him. I would say both are at fault there. Oh, maybe the coordinator too, like whoever called that in, but not switching it at that moment. I think a big, yeah, of course he could have. Of course he could have. You just give it to beast mode like that. We all know what should have happened, and we all would have slept better if they lost that way. Everybody would have been all right if they lost that way. Yeah. So no, it doesn't surprise me that we're seeing a bit of nostalgic Russ. He even is running well. I saw a couple runs and I was like, here we go. He gets down to a point you made in the earlier episode. He knows how to slide. He's very smart. If they can get their defense in order, and right now they just don't have that. Right now their defense is very bad. They let everyone score all of the points. So that's why I just think that Kansas City won't win in a blowout, I don't think. I don't think we see a blowout here, but I think they definitely come ahead by a score or two.
Mike Thomas, what are you seeing from the Denver Broncos and or the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, I will say that I haven't been surprised at Russell Wilson's resurgency because due to the team sucking so bad, I didn't realize he was having a resurgency. I did not put any thought into what he was doing this year because the team is 1-4. And I'm looking at the stats and it's like, all right, it's quarterback ratings.
A lot of tutties.
Doing good. He's got 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He's doing those are the stats that do good. His yards per attempt are not good compared to his other years. He seems like he's getting sacked a lot. So it's, I don't know. It's definitely a resurgence compared to last year where he has almost as many touchdowns already compared to what he did all of last year. But, Nathaniel Hackett, did a hatchet job to that team.
Sean Payton lost to him though. So,
Yeah, no, Nathaniel Hackett hatcheted the team twice. He did it internally and then externally.
Such a weird thing. Like that dude. And like, that's one of the things I pulled from Hard Knocks is like, I, as a person who has been coached in multiple sports my whole life, would not succeed under that dude. That dude has a brand of people he connects with. Luckily for him, Aaron Rodgers is one of those people. It is not with me. I am not the correct demographic for that dude. Like, if you're like, Gold member's so great, I'm like, why are you talking at my face? Move away from me, please.
I got to be honest, I didn't know Gold Zone was based on that originally. I heard about it. But yeah. I heard about it before Hard Knocks, but then they showed it.
I thought Gold Zone money. It's the money. You get the gold. It's the.
I also thought that. I thought he was finding a way to incentivize them about it. Not red is a negative kind of connotation. Gold, like jewelry, chains, all that. I was wrong.
It's terrible.
And it got worse when I learned that. I was like, ooh, but it also allowed me to see why, let's say Denver had a bit more people that were on the serious side and they didn't have that playful edge that apparently Aaron Rodgers really enjoys. That very highbrow but lowbrow, who knows, brow, what's going on there, bro? Like, I don't get why he likes that with all the other content we hear from him. But yeah, it's strange, but it looks like maybe that is a big part of why things weren't great last year, but Sean Payton hasn't cleaned it up fast enough for me to feel like it was only that.
Aaron Rodgers, big Austin Powers guy, not a big science guy. He's very this is where he draws the line. Science is no, Austin Powers, yes.
And
Yes,
he
big
hates
All of the
Fat
Austin
Bastard.
Powers.
Hates him.
Hates him.
That was a glorious character.
It
Derivative.
was very interesting. It was very interesting. Are you guys
in my belly?
Get in my belly? Do you guys think this Kansas City team looks a little more suspect than past Kansas City teams? We talked about the barrenness of their wide receiver cabinet currently. Mike Thomas, I'm going to start with you. Does this KC team strike fear in you like old KC teams?
No, not at all. I think their offense is not the one that is going to go out there and just score on you at will. We do see flashes of it here and there, but their offense is not as high powered as it was. Kelce still manages, even while hurt, to just be wide open in the middle of the field. One of those where it's like,
He's very good at that.
I don't get you. You must have to watch the all 22, which I don't, but to see him doing things that just aren't on the broadcast video to get open. Because how do you leave a guy who has been doing it long enough now that they're like, oh yeah, he's going to be the GOAT in tight ends when it's all said and done? How do you leave him wide open in the middle of the field? At least Gronk, he still had a guy over him. He was just, shoving him away from him while catching the football.
That's correct.
Kelce doesn't need to do that. So you've still got him, and he still does that, but that's pretty much it. The difference is their defense is actually all right this year, and that's kept them in a lot of games. And that's a very unusual spot for Kansas City to be in, where it's the defense kind of keeping the score low, and then the offense is doing just enough to get the win. I still think they're really good because this is a quarterback league, and Mahomes is as good as anybody out there. So...
Well, and one of the cool things with them this year, sorry to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
One of the cool things with them this year is I think they're also starting to implement the run more. Isaiah Pacheco looks like he could be, they don't need him to be a top 5 guy, but he's definitely in that
But he wants to be
to 12 to 13, 14, whatever range. And I think he could be. I think he's a guy that you start being able to pocket those bootlegs out to Kelce in the flat and stuff like that. And you can save that for closer to the goal line because you're like, oh, Pacheco can get us 4 here. All we need is 2. So you can save those plays. And I think that that's going to be a big thing for Kansas City in this. I think what I had said on the Pick'em pod is that this is a transitionary period for them from that high flying Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, younger Travis Kelce, that version of this offense into what it's currently going into while they restock this cabinet, which I think is inevitably going to happen.
But can Andy Reid avoid getting bored by that type of football? Because he is always, throughout the years, his time in Philadelphia and his time in Kansas City, I feel like every year we're like, you've got a good running back. He's going to use him, right? He's gonna turn to the running back at some point in this blowout win, right? And then he
used to do that
doesn't.
with Brian Westbrook all the time, and it drove people in Philly insane how underutilized Brian Westbrook was for years.
Yeah. Every time, that was back when I was playing Madden, and I would always manage to attract Westbrook to my Steelers team in Madden and just dominate.
He was nasty.
Yeah.
He would do very well in today's NFL because he was impossible to tackle. Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous. As someone as a Giants fan watching that guy being like, how? Why? No. Literally just those words. It was only that.
That was it. It was just how I know.
That's all it was. Do you guys think, and I'll leave it to this before we get into our X factors for the game and our score predictions. Do you guys think Denver sells off some pieces to be able to restock this cupboard and give Sean Payton a true injection of youth, injection of talent, gets his guys in here and tries to really cultivate this culture and make it what he wants it to be? Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, there's pretty much anyone that's not nailed down, from what I've read, is available for them right now. Garrett Bowles. Do you think that that's going to happen? I'm going to start with you, Craig.
I think it very likely has to. If they want Peyton to stick around, which they probably do, they don't want him to bail after a year. They're going to have to do something because he could bail. He has a TV job. He has plenty of money. He could. There's a cost factor, but they paid him so much that there's wiggle room for that. I think they're going to have to give him whatever he wants. If that's what he wants, it's going to happen. If for some reason we're just, fans speculating and he likes exactly what he has and they're going to go heavy on free agency, then they're going to do that. I think the ownership group and the front office is going to do what Peyton wants in this small window of, let's call it 2 seasons. I don't think if he performs this poorly 2 seasons in a row, I think they cut at that point.
Cut it loose. Mike Thomas, what do you think?
What's the contract situation with Russell Wilson? Because I don't think you trade all of your guys, all of your young studs away. And if you do that, you are essentially saying 2 years minimum is when we are going to compete. Because you have to hope that you get a bunch of draft picks for this draft, and those guys come in and start making a quick impact, and then you have another impactful draft after it, and then you start competing. But Russell Wilson has a monster contract, from what I remember, that is like
5 years.
They're in win now mode. They can't take. Yes. They've already burned one of those years. They're burning the second. You're telling me that they're going to trade a bunch of people, and if they do that, now the next time they could possibly be good is the last year of that contract? I don't know.
They're going to have money issues too with his dead cap hits are very bad.
I think yes, Mike, is as much as it doesn't make sense, partially because Russ isn't Peyton's guy. Russ was brought in and then they brought Hackett in to be able to move this forward. I don't know that Peyton is committed to Russ. So if he uses him, for lack of a better term, as cannon fodder for the next 2 years, I don't think he cares. Because at some point, he will get the guy that he is looking for, needs, whomever that is in the league, they will get them, and he will be able to run it the way that he wants it. I don't think he dislikes Russ, obviously, by the success that he's having. But I don't think that he's tied to him by any stretch of the imagination.
Then I almost wonder if that's they have a long-term commitment from Peyton of look, we're going to tread water for the next 3 years, get out of this contract and try to we're going to pull a small town baseball strategy. Anybody that we accidentally draft who's good, we're going to trade for capital later. The second they pop up like a weed, we're trading them to a competitor.
That's what Miami did.
I don't even just like Miami for a long time. I don't think it even needs to be that. I think what's going to happen is they're going to get Russ's contract to a point where the dead cap isn't prohibitive. They'll cut him.
2026.
By the time they're ready to do that, you input a rookie who you have for 5 years at that set cap number, and everyone else is already elevated to that point where you start paying people.
San Francisco
and then
model.
You have this, exactly. You have that San Fran model. You have, arguably the Philly model. They moved on from Wentz, and we're Hurts is the dude here now, allegedly, and it just feels like that kind of feels like the path that they're on.
So
it's a 5-year Bronco deal, so that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense for Sean Payton. It's a 5-year deal that if he's if they had closed door conversations with the Waltons or whoever of hey, y'all are going to have to eat that for the next 2.5 seasons, but we might win one in year 3 or 4. That I like the story you're telling there.
all speculation. I'm a dummy that has a microphone and talks to his friends every week, so who the fuck knows. But so we're gonna do X factors and score predictions. I'm going to say our X factor for Denver this game is going to be Cortland Sutton. I played him in fantasy last week, and I know he did poopy doopy. So I expect him to bounce back if Denver really has a hope at
From
winning
your
this.
mouth to the football god's ears, the Russell to Cortland Sutton double up would be huge for me.
He's my X factor for Denver, and on the Kansas City side, I am going to say Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones. Chris Jones. Sorry, Chandler's the one that is going through some things.
Think so. I think so.
Chris Jones is who I'm going to take on the KC
got me
side.
Myself.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah,
because if he gets to Russell consistently, that's going to be a bad time for my X factor.
He's so big, dude. He's really, really big. He's so tall, so strong. It's like, it looks like he's supposed to be as good as he is, but it makes me respect Aaron Donald even more because he's not that size.
He's not that
big, no.
But he's also massive.
Oh, he's massive.
But Aaron's like, he's
He's one of the strongest dudes on the field whenever he's there.
I'm going to take Kansas City. I'll say 27-20.
Wow.
27-20. I'm going to throw it to Craig Brooks.
Yeah, I think Kansas City.
Score
oh, right. My bad. X Factors first. You stole mine, so I'll go a different direction for Denver because I do believe they're getting Javonte Williams back. I think the running back. He's coming back.
It sounds right. I'm
fairly certain, so I'm going to play that card. I'm going to play X Factor. That really helps Russ. They actually get some success there. He's back in. He gets a good 15 touches and averages, 5-6 yards a carry. Helps out the play action. Helps get the ball to Sutton. I want yours to be true, but I want to be different. So I'm going to go Javonte on that one. And Kansas City,
by the way. You are correct.
Cool. I saw that recently, so I was like hopeful. The Kansas City side, I think the X factor is and always will be Patty. I think if he's going to do some things and make some magic plays, even when he goes bad, he makes the good one at the end. He's the difference maker. I hope we have a couple more years of the Kelce Patty duo. I know they want to continue it, so I just hope Travis's health and age doesn't actually become a factor, right? I know I hate being on the side of that, but he is nearing his mid-30s after 10 very successful seasons. So that does have me concerned. I've got Kansas City 33, Denver 28.
Mike Thomas, what you got?
I will say X factor for Denver will be their safety, Justin Simmons, assuming he plays. I will go with that just because he is probably the best player on the Broncos. And I watched him play high school football here locally, and this is going to surprise you guys. The best football player I saw play. I don't know if that's a shock to say that about a guy who's one of the better players in the NFL, but I'm gonna say, because if he can come out there and play well, he could be a disrupting force for this Kansas City offense and the passing game specifically. You don't necessarily want your safeties to step up and make a bunch of tackles in the running game, but they do if they have to. So hopefully you would hope that he could help shut down the Kansas City passing game if you're a Broncos fan, hoping for that. Because I'm reading a lot of things that say that if they lose this game, Justin Simmons is probably going to get traded as the sell-off begins.
Yeah.
On the Kansas City side, I will say the X factor is Kelce's ankle. This would not be the first time that a player got injured in a game, came back, finished, and then just the injury kind of froze up throughout the week. So, or it gets tweaked or something. But if he goes down, boy, what does that offense look like now?
I mean, we saw it, and it's not great.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. So, and what are the poor Chiefs going to do for ticket sales if all the Swifties don't show up? It's just
bankrupt the franchise.
That's all gravy right now. They were doing just fine before she showed up. They're just getting extra money now.
I thought the same thing about the NFL, but then the NFL's like, wait, we can get Taylor Swift money. Let's go all in on that.
Let's do it. Show her after every play. Do a
The-
side by side cam. We want to see what Taylor thinks when stuff happens.
It's something that's so native to other sports, but not NFL. They show the celebs every NBA game. They're courtside. It's just so strange
They
in
do it
an
hockey
NFL
games, too.
setting.
Especially when
Yeah,
they're like LA, New York, like they're like, oh look, Margot Robbie's here cheering on the
right.
Rangers.
It just makes less sense in the NFL because that was never a part of their narrative. But business wise, I get why they're doing all that they're doing. They're
Yeah.
Of course.
encouraging all the
Make that money.
broadcasting people to do it. They're encouraging the jokes and the Matthew Berry doing his Easter eggs because I guess his daughters do like Taylor Swift. I'm totally fine with that. All these people connecting with their families over it's great, but it's a bit much when they're putting her lyrics into their shit that they're doing.
So
Like,
wild.
but it's just the power of the community she commands is it's tens and tens of millions. It's not single digit millions. It's so many that it's good business.
It's very good business. I'm not going to say it's not. It's very good business.
And it's a demographic the NFL has not been able to touch.
The least served.
They're
it's
like
too good.
Yes.
They're like whispering in Kelsey's ear, like, "Hey man, you need to fucking be that guy. You need to figure this out. Be
Put a ring
the
on
one,
it, fucker.
Yeah, be the one that makes it, dude. Be the one." And he's like, "But I don't even like maybe like girls. Who knows, right? We don't know. We don't know what he's about. We don't know what he's about." But I think the script writers are really trying to finally get that female 18 to 45 demographic actually not just caring because their husbands care, but like caring. We see her with jerseys on soon.
400% increase in his jersey sales. I would say people care. The Swifties are flocking.
But she hasn't worn a jersey yet. That's going to be a big moment. That's going to be a moment.
It'll be a big moment. It'll be a big moment. Countdown to Swifty jersey time. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us in our Thursday night football breakdown. We will see you guys back here next time. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about. If it's Taylor Swift some more, you can say that. I don't know how much more 3 men in their 30s will have to add to Taylor Swift talk, but we will figure it out.
Soon that one won't be in his 30s.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. And then soon
it's-
after me next year.
I got a while.
bad.
I got a little bit, so I'll still be there. It's fine. It's
You
not a
have
big deal.
so many years.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate you, and we will see you all back here next time.